What is up, everybody? We are back with another review. So, hello, JVS. Welcome. We're here to talk about the finale of Gen V Season 2. Dude, there's so much to unpack here. And if you guys want to go check out my reaction to just see my raw, original thoughts right off the rip, right off the dome, to see how I kind of reacted to everything, of course, you can go to my channel, which is linked down below, and you can, experience it with me. Um, I am so glad we watched this. I am so glad we're covering it. I'm so glad that I was able to react to it so you guys can see my genuine craziness because there's a lot of spin-offs. I mean, not even just going to discredit a lot of other shows, but realistically, a lot of the times the spin-offs don't stand on their own. Like they're good, but like a lot of times it's like you can't watch it without watching the other one. This show is so strong, like it just deserves so much credit, and it's like I feel like I'm not hearing enough people yapping about it. Just from the twist, again, a lot of you saw it coming. I'll give you that. This episode alone had so many moments where I'm just kind of jaw dropped, and I don't know how you guys kind of felt personally about the whole Godolkin situation. Me personally, I thought it was interesting, and although they wrapped it up really fast, and that was a concern of mine, I'm like, okay, this is kind of quick. I thought this was gonna kind of bleed into season 5 of The Boys, but they kind of wrapped things up. The pacing was kind of different at times, and they sped through this. It was a speed run, and part of me is like, okay, like that's kind of weird, but at the same time, I'm glad, I'm happy. It gives them an opportunity to kind of really just focus on shit with season 5 with The Boys. It really gives them the chance to kind of zero in on one specific thing, and that's kind of shutting down our boy Homelander, So I'm really excited to see how they kind of handle that. But diving back into, I guess, everything with Thomas Godolkin, we saw what happened with Cypher, who we thought was Cypher, and we kind of get more of a background. We're talking to this man, Greg, I believe, and he's over here talking about how he's been controlled the last like 30 years, and of course you can't bring him to any family or friends that he had because he hasn't seen them in 30 years, and he's tortured people. He's remembered everything. It's like the whole Winter Soldier thing, like he remembers all of it, and it's just really interesting to kind of hear the way he's handling things because at the same time he's a really positive man, and we got a lot of emotional sequences throughout this season. One of my favorites specifically is through Marie and her aunt in episode 3. One of my favorite moments of the entire show. Um, just to hear Marie kind of like stand her business and explain, and it's just I don't know, man. It's like getting your abilities here. It's such a crazy situation because we have characters who can't control sometimes what they're given, and it's just sad to see the consequences of them not being able to control their abilities, like we saw with Marie and her parents. And that's why episode 3 was just very impactful for me. But we had different moments here, such as between Emma and Polarity, where Emma has found a mentor in Polarity, and they both kind of found each other to kind of heal over the loss of Andre. And on top of that, another moment between friggin' Annabeth and Marie. A lot of emotional sequences, which that one was my favorite. I will say I really did enjoy that because, not my favorite, but I really did enjoy that. I can't have a bunch of favorites, okay? But I really enjoyed just hearing Annabeth say, like, you're a hero. Like y'all, you guys are going to need the help. Just to see them actually bonding the way siblings should, and it's they have thought, like, she's thought so negatively of Marie over the last decade. So it's just to see where they're headed, and it makes me happy. At the same time, I truly expected to get a big loss in this episode, and of course, Godolkin dying. Yeah, okay, but I expected one of our people to go, and I'm so glad that's not the case. But gets me a little worried for the boys, And if this show does end up going on into a season 3, of course, depending on how, of course, this performs, which I think it performed really well. That's me. Hopefully, like, the viewers end up meaning something. But at the end of the day, if this show can expand beyond The Boys, that would be awesome. I would love that, And really loved how they wrapped this up, leading into season 5, which I am excited to talk about. But going back to Greg and Polarity, for him to kind of remember everything and to still have feelings, despite being controlled and being puppeted by Godolkin, is very impactful to, I guess, not only Polarity learning a little bit, but just Greg as a character, because for him to go up to Polarity and say, like, I loved your son was my favorite. Like, your son, despite, what happened, you would have been so proud of him. And I've heard some people kind of talk about the acting in the show. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I've seen some exceptional acting between certain actors. Say what you want about Marie. I know some people have their thoughts on, and I've heard some negativity beyond between like certain characters and not being fans of their acting. I don't know. I don't know. Jazz Sinclair has killed it. Uh, Polarity. The actor I gotta find his name. I can't be disrespectful over here, but Sean Patrick Thomas, he just has had many moments. I mean, like you could feel the despair, like just the way he was kind of like grinning and just the way he was just he looked like he was genuinely enjoying the memories being brought. Like the way Greg was talking to him and was like, "Hey, like your son was my favorite. He managed to piss in Godokin's drink. Like he did all these things. Like you would have been proud, you know." And it's just you could see the genuine like just how proud he kind of felt in that moment. And obviously with Chance Perdamo passing, I mean it's incredible that they were able to honor him in this way. I mean, the fact that they were able to kind of work with this character and just make it so impactful, and at the same time just do such an honor to just, I mean, it's such a hard situation, and these people that work directly with him, I mean, this is like they're a family, you know, like so it's just to see these moments where they're talking about Andre and like just to see the way that they're acting, it just at times it doesn't feel like they're acting because at the end of the day, like they're mourning their friend, you know, and it's just it just felt so raw, so and it's I don't know, man. I mean, it just made me feel 10 times more. That polarity scene really messed me up, man. Like they absolutely killed it, and I just got to give props for to them for handling things the way they did. You know, I mean, it's such a difficult situation, and they did a really good job, and I'm sure he's proud of everything. It's a difficult situation, man. It's crazy to even talk about, but of course going into that whole sequence is just an emotional mess. I loved it. It was just made me feel so much, and this episode has done that. This show has done that. It's made me feel like just literally every emotion in the book, and it's extremely impressive when they can do that. And to see Marie kind of make that switch, whereas in the last episode it was I got to do it on my own. I got to do it on my own. I got to do it on my own. To the point where she even took some of her people and she like shut them down. Was like, don't follow me. Then we dive into here and it's the entire different mentality, especially after she realized that she's the one who brought Godokin back. And that's why I was like really like it was just crazy to me that they were doing like such a fast switch. Like Godokin pops up in the last episode, and then he gets taken out in this one. I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna get dragged in because it's gonna be really interesting, especially with the way his plans were and the way Sage was like, okay, like we can't do this, and he's just like, nah, like if I can control one Odessa baby, I can control the other, which brings a whole different set of problems because it's like one thing if he controls Marie, like we saw how dangerous that could be. And luckily, they gave Polarity the ability to be able to kind of like what they say, like shut down the magnetic fields that kind of like, or whatever the hell they said to make it so he can't control specific people or whatever, or to control him. So it was just extremely lucky, of course. But at the end of the day, it's why Marie was able to get out of this. And part of me was just in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, are they going to let Godokin control Marie to the point where Marie is gonna end up being mind controlled into season 5 of The Boys? And part of me was like, okay, like that seems like that's an entirely that's a possibility, And it's like what they did with the end of Gen V and leading into to The Boys season 4 was a little different because it's like with season 5 coming around the corner and being the final, it makes sense for a majority of the cast for Gen V to make an appearance if they do, because it's so impactful to kind of wrap everything up there because that's kind of what they've been doing. They've been dealing with a lot of stuff that ties in like directly to that show, especially with the appearance of Starlight again. Fantastic. And I don't even want to get started with the appearance of A Train, which I was curious because when we see Starlight pop up and she said I'm like, okay, like are we gonna get introduced? Like I'm sure like she just landed. We're not gonna see Huey pop up in a van. I don't know how that's gonna work out. And then as soon as we hear the sound effect and we see Adrian kind of pull up, I'm like, dude, Adrian. Like I got the hype that I felt was just it's unmeasurable. It it was beautiful. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I get so excited with some of the main storyline choices. Like it's just beautiful. But at the end of the day, the fact that the cameos aren't necessarily carrying the show make it so much fun. Like I got so excited when I see them pop up, but that's not why I'm watching the show. Whereas there's some shows that just rely heavily on like, hey, you remember him? Like he popped up again. Like that's not why I'm doing it. Like it's great to see these characters because it's genuinely trying to tie up something. And it's always fun, man. It's always fun. And going into um the boys season 5, like I said, it's a different ballpark from season 4, whereas season 1 of Gen V ended with Andre, Jordan, Emma, Marie, all of them getting locked up at Elmira. So going into season 4 of the boys, of course, the only people that were kind of like available was Kate and Sam. Those were the people that chose to help Vought. So it made sense for them to kind of be around in that season, and it was cool because if you didn't see Gen V, you could still kind of get a grasp on that these are young kids that are clearly being manipulated somehow, like and by manipulated, I keep mentioning kind of like what Polarity was saying earlier in the season with Kate, talking about how the Vought machine makes you do things that you could never imagine yourself kind of doing, and it makes you kind of think about things because part of you is like, okay, like you're a grown person, you should know what actions you should be able to do and what are bad, and but at the end of the day, just to hear like a grown man such as Polarity kind of explain things, it's just like, wow, like it's kind of interesting, and I don't know, they've done a really good job explaining and kind of showing some of these characters and justifying some of the actions that they've done, and at the same time trying their best to kind of like uh, 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 again redeem that character. And one of my favorite situations is Kate, because Kate has been a character who's gone through a lot of shit, but at the same time has made some terrible choices. And to see again, I'm talking about emotional conversations. The conversation between just her and Marie, because Marie, of course, knowing that or thinking, especially Kate knowing that she had the ability to bring Kate's abilities back, it's like it was interesting how they were going to go about it. And Marie is just so stuck on the whole like, I don't trust you, I could never trust you, we're not doing this. And for her to just be super apologetic, especially after she was the one who was like, hey, I will give you your powers back if you promise to tell them to turn away. And she's like, she's holding up her bargain. Like she could easily say, oh yeah, absolutely, let's do this. But no, like it just proved that action alone proved how much she's changed. She's like, no, I promised you I would never do it. I can't do that. And it's just it speaks volumes. And then leading into this, just hearing them, just seeing them, the way they connected, because it wasn't a simple like you're back. It wasn't like Oliver Queen touching Barry, being like, hey, look, you're back. And there was just so much to it. Like the emotional kind of like impact that I really felt from that sequence was just it was a lot. They did a really good job with that sequence. Just seeing Kate kind of get those abilities back, hearing the SFX in the background. I'm just like, wow, like they're killing this. And dude, they just all around. I mean, they just absolutely killed so many great sequences. Oh man, and Godolkin coming back, explaining himself. I mean, I expected a Homelander cameo. I'm not gonna lie. When we see Sage kind of pop in and really be involved with Godolkin, it just really makes more sense. Because of course, I was saying this earlier. I was like, okay, like when she was on top of Cypher staring at Godolkin, we didn't know that was Godolkin at the time. At least I didn't. I'm just like, okay, why is she doing that? But it makes sense. It's because she was, even though she was kind of intimate with Greg, it was 100% directed towards the person that was controlling him, and it was really a nasty situation, but it was still like interesting to kind of pick things apart. And I know a lot of you were like, hey, like I was able to tell that was Godolkin a while away, and I mean, if you did, that's really cool. But I'm really excited to hear kind of some of the clues, because maybe I got to rewatch it and be like, okay, like that makes sense now, and that's kind of what I want to do right now, because I mean, I want to be able to like kind of see where I kind of missed certain things. But again, they did such a good job with making me all excited about it. And yeah, some people figured it out, but that wasn't me. So when the twist happened, I'm just like, yeah, this is crazy, and just multiple moments where I'm just like really kind of like flabbergasted at some of the some of the stuff that they've done. Of course, we get another flashback to start off the episode with Thomas Godolkin showing him kind of shoot himself up with V. Turns out to be V1, the same kind of the same compound that both Soldier Boy and Stormfront had. So it was interesting to kind of hear that. Um, The fact that we didn't get to see Godokin and Homelander face to face kind of, I it kind of sucks. But at the same time, it would have been, yeah, no, I don't know. I think that would have been a really crazy face to face, man. And Sage was extremely nervous during that entire kind of situation because she was saying flat out to him like, hey, like this is not what we planned. Like this is not a good idea. Like if you introduce yourself, you need to do it the right way. And for Thomas Godokin to go on the live stream and be like, hey, like I am a superhero. She's like, this is not what you're supposed to do. So they just handled that. It was just comedic, but at the same time, it's like, okay, like they're both like swinging their nuts. Like they are doing what they can to show that both of these characters are so like ego driven, and it's like they're both ego driven, but to like a different extent. Whereas Homelander cares deeply what people think of him, and he's just a really like he's an interesting dude, like very like I don't even know. I don't even want to dive into that, but same token with Godolkin, like if he was ever on the same level as some of these characters with the weak abilities, I mean, I think he'd lose his mind. But like the fact that he's up there, he thinks he's so high and mighty, and they're both so ego driven. It's just it would have been interesting to see them kind of clash. Um, I'm glad it did end the way it did because at the end of the day, like if Marie was controlled into season 5, I don't think I would have been on board with that. I don't know if I would have loved that because at the end of the day, we have enough to deal with Homelander, and it would have been really crazy to see how they would have just done that, without especially like, oh wait, Marie changed at the last minute. Now she can stop Homelander. It just I feel like it would have been like, oh, we know she's eventually going to change, so it's just like let's just wrap this up. So I'm glad they didn't go that route. I will say we got so many characters in this episode, especially like it was just interesting to see. I don't know his name. I do apologize on that, but the guy with the portal coming out of his butt, the fact that he can take people in and then kind of fish them out was really cool because we dealt with the first group of people who literally slaughtered each other. So going into the next episode, going into the next batch where he ended up being part of that, and he's like they had a whole plan, so I was curious on how that was going to play out. And immediately we see Marie come through the door, and I'm like, okay, like she's not hiding in there, so that's interesting. But then when the door's shut, I'm like, okay, the rest of the homies got to be up in there somewhere, So to see that kind of go about, and it was disgusting. Don't get me wrong, it was absolutely gross, criminal. But at the same time, it was just crazy. I loved it, man. To see Jordan pop out, Emma pop out. What's his name? The pretty boy. I forgot his name, but he popped up. It's not Charlie or something. I forget what it is, but the one that Sam got competition with. But to see everyone pop up and just to start kicking ass was just incredible. And I mean, we slowly saw Godokin getting overwhelmed, which I loved how they were doing that. Like when he was controlling more people or just overusing his abilities, we were seeing kind of him return to that form that he was in before Marie kind of saved him. And Sage was clearly noticing that. I mean, she's done that on multiple occasions. Like when Noir killed Greg, and we get Polarity dragged back to the cell. She immediately knew that he was cured. Like she's like, the tremor in your right hand is gone. Like of course her whole thing is she's a genius. Like this is goes without saying, but it was really interesting to see kind of like how she was kind of like falling apart and realizing that this is not the move, because she went from being like, hey, we can do this, let me do this, let's figure this out, and helping Godokin like push every domino over. And then when he last minute decided to switch things up, she's like, nah, like I can't, I'm not doing that. And she tried her best to kind of show him a different path, but ultimately it didn't work out. And it's scary because it's like Sage is always a step ahead. She's incredibly smart. So it's like if he stayed on that path, who knows where that would have brought him. But at the end of the day, she said Homelander is a vital part of the plan. And I think, again, due to the ego, Godokin he was not okay with that. And his whole shtick was to keep taking in these batches of kids, taking out them one by one until he was able to be strong enough to control Marie. Because again, if he can control one Odessa baby, he can control another. And that whole idea was just crazy to me. So I was super excited to see what they were going to do. And ultimately, again, they didn't go the route that I thought they were going to go, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Because although Godokin, that whole arc was cool, I don't know how I would have felt if it got carried into the boys. But now that we got the whole group of characters kind of in the mix, because it's really cool that we kind of like picked up everyone. Like we're like, hey, like we got a whole. She's like, how would you like to join the Resistance? And Emma's like, we already got a crew. I'm like, bro, like this is great. Like this is great, man. And gets me really excited for what's to come. We're gonna get the boys in season in 2026, of course, but it's just like that's they've handled this so well, and I want to see more of Gen V. Like they've done a really really good job with this show. Like that's just that goes without saying. I mean, if you've watched this show, I'm sure you've enjoyed it. You know, if there are episodes you didn't enjoy, I would love to hear you list them because I want to go. I love to have conversations. You know, so if you genuinely were upset with the way they did things, talk to us. Like we're not here to judge. We're here to kind of like just critique and understand, you know. So have a conversation with us down below. We look forward to reading it, and we will be checking it out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going live in the next week or two on my channel talking about this show with some other people. So if you guys are into that, you guys can be there live, you know, ask questions live. As well, if you have any questions, you can drop them here, and maybe I'll answer them over there, or I'll answer them down below. But we look forward to just having these conversations with you. You know, opinions can be different as long as you know, I mean, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to be civil. And I look forward to hearing your reasonings on how you feel about this show, whether you thought episode 7 was better than episode 8, or you thought this was better than that. You know, I can't wait to discuss, you know, the show with you guys. I mean, it's why we do what we do. We love to share our thoughts. That's the whole point of this, you know. So make sure to show us some love by subscribing, liking. One like goes a long way. Showing us love on TeamJVS, Instagram, TikTok. We're posting reviews and snippets of us just talking about things we love, you know, all over on all of our platforms. So make sure to show love on the YouTube channel, on JVS TikTok, Instagram, and if you guys want to see reactions to the shows that I review, because most of the shows I'm reviewing over here, I am reacting to on my channel or on like TikTok or something. So make sure to go check that out. I'd love to have you guys there, and look forward to the conversations that we're gonna have. If there's anything you're looking forward to for The Boys season 5, let me know in the comment section. On top of that, if there's anything you're excited for, if they could do for Gen V season 3, if we do get that, let me know. There's so much to discuss. I'm glad everybody made it through this season, or a majority of the characters that we have here made it through. So I am really excited to see how that kind of transfers over to The Boys. Like how many people are going to be involved with that. If everyone's going to be involved, it's just exciting. And I really hope that it's not just them being involved tiny. I know we got to wrap up the characters from the Boys, but I would love for Marie to be heavily involved and to see how they kind of make that work. There's a lot of things that I, you know, am curious about, a lot of things I'm excited for, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they manage to make it work. But as of now, man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. And again, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. We got tons of content dropping in the next few weeks. A lot of reviews, new shows coming out that we're going to be covering weekly, and we look forward to just dropping a wide variety of shows. That way, if you're not interested in one show, maybe you're interested in another thing that we're reviewing. So give us a chance, check us out, listen, and you guys are fantastic. Thank you for watching. Be well, stay safe. Peace out.